Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Islands of Insight. I just wanted to show how slow the load-in is here. Here you have the much more human looking, I guess it's the god of this world that created the Seekers that we're playing as. But yeah, just even clicking offline mode, it takes a really long amount of time to load into the world. And the world is big, I won't deny that, but it is also certainly doesn't seem like it's streaming the loading in any way, or that it is perhaps segmenting out sections to have more load screens in between different sections. Of course, that would be annoying, certainly if there's a load section between one of the 5 major areas, or all of the 5 different major areas. We ended the last episode in doing this enclave of the glass temple, and I was getting fairly frustrated just in the repetitiveness of it all. Like, at a certain level, I can't really complain about that too much. The game promised 10,000 plus puzzles. It's giving me 10,000 plus puzzles. I can't really be upset that that's the case. Seems like it doesn't want me to really go that direction. But so I've gone out of my way here to take a little bit more of a break and wait about a day extra before getting back into this game. And I probably will take it a little bit slower anyways. Okay. So we worked our way around here. And there's very possibly going to be some stuff I've missed, but I think it is probably fairly logical here to just find the exit, particularly on these glass mazes, where you're going to get that glass shattering images, sound effects, and then we'll come back and solve things. In particular, looks like we've got quite a few of this going on. Alright, so I'm going to assume that what we're doing here is we're rotating this all 90 degrees. So this row of 5 is this row of 5. This row of 4 should be here. Then there should be a white, and then a row of 3, and then white, and a row of 2, and a white, and then a 1. Okay. Now, if this is rotated, though, now it can't really be a simple rotation. I might be bending over backwards here to justify the pattern, because it's got to be something else, doesn't it? Row of 4 here, row of 3 here, row of 2 here, row of 1 here. It's a little bit smaller than this one and rotated 180 degrees. And so this is not a row of 5 either, is it? Yeah, this is 5, but this locked in part is actually 6. Which means everything should be 1 bigger. Then would this have just been the start? I guess 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 6, 5, 4, 3, 3. And then that, I guess the question here is coming down to 2 things. One, have I done this puzzle perfectly? Probably not. And then the next question is, do we continue the pattern? Guess we do. So then we do that. That's a 3-star difficulty, and that's probably a great example of where, depending on where your head is at, I could see you seeing that that was right immediately and doing that. Or I could see you being completely confused as to what even the puzzle is showing you, and it being very difficult to figure out. Sometimes these look like or feel like they are number puzzles. Sometimes these feel like these are completely different puzzles, pattern puzzles, even though they all are labeled as pattern puzzles. The pattern seems to be sometimes more mathematical. Here's what I'm guessing. If you drew a line of symmetry here and folded this over, no, don't fold it over because that wouldn't be. If you drew a line here, cut it in half, and then made one part overlap the other, all of these pieces here would overlap in a 3x3 grid. So, with that thought, that and that should be the entirety of that puzzle. And again, if you were thinking something completely different, I don't see any way you would figure that out. And that was a 4-star difficulty. Does that feel like that was one circle difficulty, not stars? Because they also have stars. Okay. I think this one would be very weird if we didn't start with that. Here we have just a visual math element, I think, happening in it. Things are going this way, and then things are going this way to make that. So this is being copied here, this is being copied here, which means you start on the left and then you go rows, then columns. If we followed that logic, then this one always seems to stop here, and then this one always seems to stop here. Is it the exact position? I guess it is. So that one. Okay, so I've got this. So then that would be black, and then these don't get added to it at all. It's just the leftmost and the topmost. So that feels like that's the pattern there, and that's the pattern there. Then I don't think we're going to end up doing anything on the outer rings. Whoops. Let's see, without that misclick, this I guess would have been a perfect solution. And yeah, maybe I'm getting bonuses for these. Maybe I'm not. Let's go over here since it has been a while and just see where we are. We do have bonuses for all of this. And then we have very few sparks, so we won't have to worry about thinking about where the next thing is for a while. Well, that certainly wanted to fling me into the air. Remember, in this area there's no hidden blocks. There don't seem to be anything other than these glass mazes, which there's still 3 of them somewhere around here. It must be part of the already seen crystal mazes. And then there are 3 more pattern grid puzzles. I think it's probably worth it to assume that is a puzzle we haven't done before. And I guess here there are 2 more hidden archways. So I guess there's reasons to walk around these roofs. So there's just a decent chance of a hidden archway. Weirdly, I would say though, it seems just walk. Probably should move a little bit bolder than that, since falling off doesn't really matter. So I guess the question there, was that an extra exit to a crystal labyrinth? Doesn't seem like it really counted towards one. I still would prefer to see some variation here on the regular grids puzzles that give you patterns, and then the pattern puzzles that we're doing here. The fact that this entire area is just pattern puzzles is kind of annoying. Right, so inherently the line of symmetry we assume is here, and then we have pieces that balance. So as far as this has to be the same as this, that would mean both of these have to be white. This has to be the same as this, meaning both of these have to be black. And I guess that logic just follows the entire way. And this makes a shape. Is the shape supposed to mean something? That it would be certainly the next question is there any trick to it? So it looks like there would have been a different way you could have entered in this area. Trying to figure out where I can hear the arch. I don't see the arch. Okay, so that dropped me back down here. Not particularly where I want to be. Oh well, I suppose that won't hurt me too much. Whoops. Guess you're just walking around. I guess you can just land wherever you want. Okay. I am noticing a problem here in this. It is a mistake to take longer breaks in this area, in this game. That is going to punish you quite severely. If you just don't remember. What was going on, or what you've seen and what you've interacted with before. See, this still feels like this might be the last crystal maze. But also, that's an area we haven't been to yet. So, let's see. Can I crouch down? There is a key to crouch down. What was it? Let's see. Again, let's see. Jump, glide, sprint. Glide is E. Crouch is control. So kind of a standard. I don't think glide works. While you're walking. Right. So it doesn't seem to me like that seems like a tease. Okay. So let's follow this back. That goes that way. That goes that way. So we need to go down by the looks of it. Down to get up. This still feels like that's okay. So we're looking in a general area. See, that just feels like this is too low when you get down here. You have a whole area, whole section here, lots of different pathways. Yeah, I think that might be it. Oh, it's such a floaty control, though. Yeah, it might be easier and wiser to just do this. Fly that way. Okay, what's the pattern here? Well, my first instinct would be to just connect all the dots, but then that does leave this middle section questionable. Let's see, what can we know for certain? Well, we're not seeing any of it cross over. So, this may just be a little dumb, but let's just question whether it is a spiral. I don't think it told me quite enough to make that assumption, but it worked. So one more crystal labyrinth, one more pattern grid, and 2 more hidden pentads in this area. And I guess you have to do those before you even know how many other puzzles might be in an area. That was the last of the crystal labyrinth. It moves the checklist away. And it's interesting how for a puzzle game this is perfectly fine, but for any other game to just constantly have your goals taking up the side of your screen, I could see people being kind of perturbed by that. I guess we're gonna just assume reflections and see how that works. No, it can't be reflections, because immediately, if that was the case, this wouldn't fill in. So the solution is in what you can do. Okay. So if it's not a reflection, it's not a rotation where like this square is rotated counterclockwise by 90 degrees so that this shape here is this shape here. This space here, it's not a flipping. This is here, this is here. I'm thinking more likely it is a diagonal thing, which, could we do a diagonal thing? Can we even take these two and do something? We could do that, and that would reflect that. My instincts would be that that would be there. Are we perhaps just making a pyramid? Pattern. I mean, it looks pretty. Problem is when you run up to this, like I can't really reflect that without doing that. Guess that works. So it was a flip in this case, with the line being directly in the middle. Okay. So what's a hidden pentad? We've done 2 of them. So then the question, I definitely hear a sound effect of something. I think I see something over here. Is this making noise? Pentad, I think, means 5. My assumption here is it is these. See, it doesn't even tell you what it is when you click on it. It just says it is already solved. Again, I'm hearing sound effects. And again, there's another one of those. Okay. So if we did one over there, one over here. Where would the other 2 be? I think I probably just stupidly ran away from it. One of them. Maybe even 2 of them, in favor of getting to the end of the puzzles early. I have to say, I don't know if I really believe that can't step on these, can we? I was hoping that you could fly up in that general direction and then it would shoot you upward. Well, flying down low, or gliding down low here, is probably not going to lead to finding anything. Though it might be an interesting double check just to see where this whole area started. Kind of spawns you in some weird places. So do I think the secrets are there? Or do I think the secrets are more here? I would guess that your odds are probably about 50-50 that one of them is in this middle area and one of them is very possibly somewhere else in the further area. In Assassin's Creed, particularly some of the, not the first one, but some of the Ezio collection ones, there's a point where you start having the platform in places and they know you're gonna fall down, so they start in like the, I think it's the Notre Dame Chapel in particular is what I'm talking about. And so it will kick down ladders that you can climb up to get back up to the high places. I would like to see this game have that same type of functionality. It does seem a little too much to have to find your way up one of these puzzles to then get enough height. So this is yet another blocked off entrance. Right, so I should go investigate that. There is something over here that I very possibly missed. Maybe a case where I need to get higher. Yep, there's one. So that would be another crystal maze. It almost feels like you would unlock a new ability at some point to paint these crystal mazes. That way you could make them more easy to see where to walk and what blocks your path and what doesn't block your path. Oops. Just fall. Well, that's where you're gonna put me? There's one over here, yes. Let's see, there's a whole column here to get to a higher spot. The higher spot's almost starting to make sense. Have a look around. It's not that big of a sphere. And I doubt any of the things you're supposed to click on are going to be invisible. We definitely are being told that there are more things to find than the minimal amount for the bonuses. And that's the other pentad. Can we start 2 pentads at the same time? No. Did I just screw up all the progress on the other one? Possibly. Is it possible that there are even more pentads? Yes. Although I would tend to not really suspect a bunch more. I don't think I'm that oblivious that I missed multiples upon multiples of them. Am I in the sphere? Man, they really like to do that, don't they? Just have the ground fall out from under you. And I guess the game is trying to be somewhat kind around in that they are at the very least showing you some broken pathways so you know. It does bring about an interesting question, certainly. And I guess that wall is there to also tell you that some of the pathways will be broken. On one level, this whole area would be really ruined if there was a final crystal maze platform that would just destroy all the crystals in these areas, because you're standing on so many of the crystal spots. That would be interesting. So I'm guessing what's happening here is we need height. This one is a much bigger sphere, but it is also uniquely fairly high up, so it's not actually involving most of the puzzles. Most of the maze elements. This could take a while. I want to get... I thought this was a way in which you could get higher. Maybe not. You know what? Why don't we use this to our advantage though, and take the high road. So we can see that there is one over here. I think think I can see one over there. Nope, that's just a puzzle we haven't done, so we can take a bit of a break. Okay. Again, we're in a situation where I can't just copy what I'm saying here. That won't work. At some point they may ask me to invert what I'm saying. So then you have some fairly large, I guess you would call these tetrominoes, as little Tetris pieces. But you have some very large ones here that would have to in some way line up with what we're seeing. Don't know how. Like, my first instinct would be to do that. Then you have 3, 4. Then maybe it would spiral around to 5. I don't know how it would spiral around to 5. Just off the top of my head, I don't see any reason why I should think this is white or black. There. Guess I'm thinking these are white. Let's think of the puzzle just from like this bottom half to start with. Let's see if that makes any sense. Could I make a 2x2 grid of any color? Not really. I can make one here. But then, what does that tell me? Nothing, because then you'd want a 2x2 grid over here. Okay. I'm just gonna pick some random choices here. What are the odds that both of these pieces are the same color? Say pretty low. Okay. Does that make any sense? Like, on the top half here, you do have a lot of black pieces. In fact, you really only have these 3 here. Is there a way we could do 3 in a row down here anywhere? Or 4 in a row? Well, I've already guessed, so let's start with foresight. Let's use that to get a general idea. So if that is black, to start with, does that give me any other thought? Well, 3, then a white, and then, nah, I don't have a clue. Okay. It almost certainly makes some sense to fill in everything. That way you can maybe get some lucky ones in. Does any of this make sense? We're gonna have to wait a while. If it said that one was wrong, okay. No clue. That, like, of what it's told me, this doesn't make any sense. And this is a 5 difficulty puzzle. Square, square, square. Yeah, it really wouldn't be a pattern if it was just this many white spaces needs to be in some random assortment in this spot. What it? Not helping much. And this kind of, I guess, matches if it was a little offset. I think it already told me though that that was supposed to be that way. And for all I know, this is just, I'm supposed to just be drawing a picture. And I don't think I'm losing points by changing things or taking longer amounts of time. Well, it might be. Let's see, rotating doesn't make any sense. Flipping doesn't make any sense. Diagonal pattern. It's not something I'm recognizing. Maybe it's a mathematical thing. 4, then 1, then 1. This matches. Okay, so this makes a picture like that. Still doesn't make any sense. 4, then 1, then 3. Could be 4. Then you couldn't do 1 or 3. Yeah. And inherently, I guess this is a problem of any puzzle game, is that you could just get stuck somewhere. Thank goodness it has a foresight, but they definitely are putting a timer on it. They don't want you to be able to just cheat your way through puzzles, which you still could do. Certainly you could get a walkthrough and just know what the puzzle is completely. And inherently, if you do solve one of these puzzles and you don't know what you did to solve it, the game's not going to bend over backwards to explain what you were doing wrong. No clue. It could be anything. If it's telling me something down here is wrong, am I supposed to assume then all of this at the top is right? We do have this triangle and then a square and a square. 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. Well, I am noticing something here. The groupings here are sometimes split up and sometimes not split up. Okay. So the fact that this L backwards L is black maybe means this backwards L and this backwards L is black because there's two of them. Then there's also one here that's a forwards L, and I don't see a spot where a forwards L could have been flipped to be a backwards L on this side. So that might be the trick here. That the exact correct number of pieces must be black. Which we can count 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 18, 21. 3 plus what would be 5 is 8, 11, 14, 15, 18. So we would need another 3 added up. But that doesn't make sense because there's at least 4 single spots here. So if that was the case, it's only L's and 3 straight lines that are black. So I guess maybe that was the trick. Again, it's not going to tell me, but yeah, only backwards and forwards L-shaped tetraminos and eyes, as far as 3 in a row, are dark. So I was supposed to mark all of the pieces dark over here. And that was a 5 spark or 5 circle difficulty puzzle. Now, by struggling through that, arguably, maybe I now have learned an insight, not an official insight, but a personal insight as far as what to look for in the more difficult puzzles. Sometimes it will just be certain types of shapes will match up as certain colors. Okay. I figured there'd be one there in between at least one of those hidden pentads. next step? So where is the last one? Another gate found. Could be hidden in a lot of different places. Well, I guess not too many. It's gotta be high. Which means it's got to really resolve more around it being in a corner somewhere than being somewhere I cannot see. Although there is that possibility. Okay. So the next question is, do we have to reset our progress here? And no, we don't. That is nice to find out. That could have been really annoying. So this is lower. And smaller regions. The question just comes down to how do we get to the lower section, because I think that's what we're going to have to do. I think we're going to have to find our way down. I don't think it's up. It could be hidden in a windowsill or something. That is a possibility. Could be up here. We do have the very high jump if we want to use that. That didn't really help too much though, doing that very high jump. Okay. The little flowers and plants elements could definitely be used against you. Hiding collectibles behind them. Okay. Upside down. Well, it might really be down here. Let's look all around. I could definitely see people getting motion sick. With this whole setup too. Okay. Just be careful not to fall. Is it possibly hidden amongst like the vines? Yes, that is a possibility, obviously. No, it's hidden in nooks and crannies. Okay. Now know where to look. Every place you probably wouldn't ever look. This is also one of those, your mileage is going to vary wildly based on just how much you have a tendency to wander versus a tendency to observe. Which I guess for these kinds of puzzles, these are totally all about observing. Do I honestly think it's down there? Really don't. The whole line of the ones we found do seem to want to keep everything kind of next to each other. We haven't really found anything up here. Yeah, one would just have to assume that that was the high road and this is the nooks and crannies road. Where am I missing it? There's one there, there was one there, there's one there. That was the other one we found already. That would give me a hint as to what to look, where to look. One there, one there, one there. So close to each other. I almost think, since this has that reflection theme, that the next one should be right there. Well, this is definitely a spot I haven't paid too much attention to. See, these broken rocks tell me that there's a hole there, and that's where I kind of fell before. So, is it possible to get back into the circle? Doesn't feel like it. already been down here. But I don't have any idea where else to look. There it is. And thank goodness you don't have to actually be close to it. Okay. So now that we've done all of that, the game is being only, I think, a little bit generous. By telling us that there are 3 more puzzles to do. And so I want to be thorough. But I also have to be somewhat realistic. What are the odds that there are any puzzles in this middle section I've missed? Versus, what are the odds that the puzzles are over there? What are the odds that any of them are glass puzzles? Or are they all invisible arcs? Or pattern puzzles? Walking around will tell me pretty well if they are. Right, nope, that's not what I meant to hit. Okay, I heard an arc. We'll use another chute way up. Okay, so we're kind of walking over here. I can hear one filling in somewhere. I can't help but wonder if the enclave area here is necessary because this whole glass reflection element would be so visually demanding. Although in 2024 just may not be that really may not be that visually demanding. You very possibly can just have this high level of see-through textures without it being a problem, even amongst other textures and visuals. So I went down low. Didn't see anything. Didn't hear anything. Okay. is right there. So super jump is going to put me like way higher than I really need to be, but whatever. That's 2. Two remaining. And I think I see one there, which I didn't solve. Yep, definitely looks like that's something I didn't solve. Perhaps I took that thought too far and chose to just bypass some actual puzzles. Or perhaps I just missed that one. See, this whole rocks here would imply to me that there's a way to fall into that section, but maybe not. I think maybe we're supposed to come down along the edge. Well, that edge does imply to me that I could have cheated my way through a lot of this puzzle. Did I solve that one? Yes. I wonder if maybe there's some deeper ability we're going to figure out later about these walls. Clicking on them doesn't seem to do anything. Right clicking just zooms in on them. Walking backwards into them doesn't seem to do anything. Weirdly, I am in this section that only lets me go one way. I don't see an entrance to this. Hey, and I hear a gate somewhere too. So both of the 2 remaining puzzles are in the same area. Lucky. Since it takes more than 5 minutes to even reach an area, the timer on that doesn't really matter. Up to level 14. Only one more puzzle, and we know where it is. Question is, how do we get there? These rocks seem intentional to show my thought. See, why am I in a pentad right now where it says 5 of 5 hidden relics found? Yep. So I just need to fly in there. Okay. Well, this doesn't seem too hard, if I was to guess. The only real question is, does it go that way? Which it probably does. And again, this is making a symbol that looks like a tornado or something. I don't know if these symbols are supposed to mean anything. I feel like the game has glitched a little bit here with the 5 out of 5 hidden relics found. Let's hope that that goes away. Eventually. Alright. And here we have at least something different that I'm willing to spend more time on. All dark regions must have an area of 3. All light regions must have an area of 4. Which inherently doesn't let me figure out whether this is light or dark. It just tells me whatever this is also connected to that, and I don't have any special marker to indicate that, really. Diagonal still. What? The example here, all dark regions must have an area of 3. This is not an example pictorially of that. Okay. So let's just assume, to start off with, they mean that much. And we can continue that and do that much. And I guess we are just going to spiral around this. Now, to make the dark regions have a region of 3, I immediately did put a diagonal here, which obviously doesn't connect to that region, which means that has to be black and that has to be black, which means then that has to be white and that has to be white. One of these has to be white. This could be black. This one has to be white, though. Right, and so the only way this can go is there, which means that has to be white. Which means that has to be white. And one more of those. This one has to go here, which then does that. This has to go here, which then does that, which makes that black and that black, that black. This one cannot connect these because then that would be 5, so that has to be black. But then weirdly that also means this has to be black, and then this has to be here, and this has to be here, that, and then that. So I see why they have this labeled as a 2-star difficulty, just because you can just process your way through all of this to fill out everything. But I guess that has to be black, doesn't it? Yeah. It is weird to be just in that enclave doing that thing. The next thing the game wants me to do is enter the Haven of Insight, which I'm not sure exactly where that is. Pillars of Insight, all-seeing monolith. I am here. The Haven of Insight is way over there. Okay. Let's take a moment to see if we've gotten enough points to upgrade anything. No. And I imagine our mastery is going to get more and more difficult to level up things. Yeah, and 5 hidden relics found. It does seem like it's just going to stay there, and that it's just glitched. Probably I'm going to have to find something. Alright. This should be fairly easy to do. What's going to happen, here's exactly what we need. What I imagine is going to happen though is we'll walk around this whole area and run into a bunch of distractions that will just slow down the general progress towards getting to the Haven of Insight. I just doubt there's much more we're gonna unlock. You get the wings, and that further justifies the open world elements here. And I think that's pretty much it. I think particularly in this central area we're going to have slightly more of a reason to wander around and use the platforming. I know it's up there. The question is, how hard is the game going to make it to get up there? It's probably not that hard. Already found that one. Interesting. Just be floating in the air. I guess it could be. And 2 has already been found. If we found 2 in a tree, what's the odds of a 3rd being in a tree? It's either it's in the tree or there's some deep hidden lower area. Back to being fully charged as far as large jumps. I can definitely see why you would want that bonus shrinking bubble option. And since we're over here, let's go back to this pearl. Was this one I was struggling with before? We need to get one of these. Need to get this all the way down to the bottom. Need to get like this one. We don't really have to concern ourselves with, but we need to do something with this. That's not it either. If we did something like that. We can't drag that up, though. So if the move was to do that, that doesn't work. The move is to do that, that doesn't work. If the move is to do that, then you'd have to figure out some other trick here. Okay. Well, got it. Wasn't perfect. It wasn't particularly what I was looking for. What happens when we click on this? Nothing? And it's been a while, so I guess the question is, have we gotten any more quests? No. So that's not a thing. So do we possibly see where this other cube is going? There's really no reason not to check out this pyramid, unless it is just going to be full of really difficult things. Okay. The Vault of Vitric requires 0 of 5 mysteries to unlock. Okay, good to know. We cannot reach it at the moment. Let's go all the way to the top. I hear something on the inside. And we can see at the top here we've got some very high level challenges and puzzles. They pretty much wanted you to see them, so you can know that now is not likely the time that you're ready to take on those puzzles. Man, these keys. I do suspect some of these sky drops are supposed to be seen from this far of a distance. You're just supposed to line them all up. There's a lot of sky drops in that area. Okay. There's more stuff over there. The question is, can you get over there, or am I just going to run into an invisible fence? It's pretty easy to see how you could just glide past a bunch of puzzles. Like you've got a trial here that looks incredibly difficult. Let's see. Okay. I think we can do this. So this is touching this much. The difference here, whoops, I guess it's going to be the pressure that these 8s put on you, and just in general what. So if I did this, if I put a white one here, I couldn't put a white one here. So 8 is not going to connect that way. So best case scenario, you've got a 5 here. And then that is 8. And you've got a 5 here. That is 7. It doesn't inherently have to be that way. Let's just assume that that's the case. Nope, that can't be that way. So was there any other way this could have gone? I think so, because I could have potentially taken that, done that, done that. Nope, that won't work, will it? So that has to be that way. Okay. I think this has to be white. Otherwise, the rest of this would all have to be white. I don't think that's gonna work. Three, 5, or short some, quite a bit. Here. Okay, this one is also a short one, isn't it? No, that won't work. Because this has to be here. So this one's off. Something has to be shifted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need 2 more spaces. And then this needs to be just 1 more. And see, if I'm struggling this much with the first one, the next one's just going to be way more difficult. This is probably not the place to put it. This is probably not the place to put it. My guess is all of those have to be white. Then probably need a white here. And there. Let's just look at what the next part of this would be. Yeah, there clearly is something more difficult by all this. Yeah, you probably have to do this. Just, oh wow. There's a whole other element to this. I don't even know how you pull this off. Then the blacks are gonna be so demanding. It's gonna have to be. But you've got to fill in that edge. You got to fill in that edge with something. Which that means the entirety of this puzzle has to be solved with an alternating pattern that doesn't connect. I have no idea how that would work. At least it wouldn't be able to connect. I could do whites on the edge. Then that would let that happen. And then that happen and that happen. Kind of spirals all around, doesn't it? So it's got to be the other way around then. Something like that to start with, and then you can spiral. I don't know how you're gonna spiral 7 though. Yeah, the 7 I think does determine that this side has to be white. The border has to be white. And this is totally new as a concept. So yeah, if this was black, trying to get to 7 this way would hit that one. Trying to get to 7 this way would hit that one. Yeah. You could do that and that. That would just be 5. That would be the best way you could do it. Obviously that's not the right way. So okay. 6, 7, 3. Wow. I'm surprised I solved that. And that's a 4 sphere difficulty. So let's see if we can complete this challenge here and see the final part. Well, this doesn't seem that difficult. Yeah, I'm questioning what's the big twist here. This one seems downright easy compared to what I just did. Can't connect there, can't connect there, gotta connect there. Gotta do that, gotta do that. 4, now can't connect there, has to do that. 5 has to, I think, go that way. I actually don't know yet. Wouldn't it be crazy if I'd gotten a perfect on that? Yeah. Would a perfect have given me a higher value? Like a massive amount of extra sparks. It definitely seems like you're just gonna end up getting sparks. So regardless of where I go here, unless I did this and then did that, I think I would have probably run into trouble. Now is the same thing the case over here? Yeah. I think we can kind of generally assume it's going to go in both those directions. Yeah. We're perhaps making an assumption here that is wrong. I may have made a mistake here. I probably made a mistake here. We gotta separate this 5 and this 5, which means that's gotta be black, and that's gotta be black. Okay. Wow, I'm really surprised I was able to solve that. 120 sparks for solving a 2-star difficulty challenge. Still, we're really only at 500, so unless I want to buy this next, which I think I might. I don't know how valuable the area count it really is. We haven't seen any of these music grid challenges or phasic drills. Anything. Yeah. Not really sure what I'm should be shooting for. As far as Verdant Glen goes, there's a limited number of things in this area, and some of these we know are kind of locked behind other things. The Dare of the Triunes feels like that is one to look for. Let's see. We need more Mirror Bliss to unlock that, if we were going to do that. I kind of want to do the all-seeing monolith, and there's a whole bunch of trials, like the one which I guess we didn't do. I thought we had just done a trial, but from the looks of it, it seems like the trial is down there, and this is just something completely different. Symbolic duality is all locked around this. Okay. These might be very easy, and that was only plus a small amount of sparks compared to what we just did. It's just going to come down to, can I move correctly to solve these without screwing up. Well, the one makes that easy. 3 does not. I guess we know these have to be split that way. Which I think actually makes this pretty easy. So we get an insight for doing that. Okay. This is going to be tough. Maybe not that tough. These are more lessons, I would say, than anything else. As far as just, if you'd gone to this trial yeah, that you have a decent chance of figuring out exactly what to do. I'm thinking that this is probably the exact same pattern, just being limited by the amount of space that's available there. Right. This one might be a little bit more difficult. You have to go that far, and so then that can't connect those two, and then this can't connect those two, so that has to be white, which makes that black, makes that black, makes that white, makes just enough room for that. So we have 4. Another black makes that 6, if I'm counting correctly, making all those to be white, so that this is 4, making that be black. So 3 additional logic chains is apparently something we're supposed to do. Okay. This again does not come off as particularly difficult. So maybe this is a case where they are just helping us get extra XP. Okay, so that can't connect to that, that can't connect to that, that can't connect to that. It's got to connect to that one. It's got to go that far. This has got to go somewhere. 2, 4, 5, 6. Means that has to go there, that has to go there, that has to go there. Then that gives me only that location to reach. We get another Mare of Bliss. I would like to do all the trials first in this area before entering a new area. Well, this one does seem like this is going to be more of a thing. Right. If this went up here or here, a lot of different options there. I guess both of these have to be black, which that makes that, and that. And that wouldn't work, and that wouldn't work. So that makes that, and that. Okay, and then that wouldn't work. That's already enclosed. So that has to go there, that has to go there. It's very linear in these solutions, similar to how you would solve a basic Sudoku puzzle without any variations, is that one piece being added immediately tells you the next step if you are skilled enough to see it and recognize it amongst the visual mess. Whereas I'd say these grid puzzles are actually very nice in that they simplify what could be very much a messy experience if this was just Sudoku. Okay, so we can't do that one or that one. That puts that there. Okay. Got a couple sections here, a couple different options. This one, I guess, has to be white because that can't connect down to that. And then went here and here, we could get a 4. That could be white and that could be white. There's no regions limiting me in that spot. This has to be white, though. Okay, which makes that black. Which means this has to be white, which makes that black. Which means that has to be black, which makes that white. And that white. That then has to connect there. Filling in that spot. That then has to be black because that would connect too many. And then that really only gives you the option to do that. Okay. So then that just leaves this section. We went this way. These two could be white. If we went this way, this could be white. I think either way, that means that has to be black. This can't. This has to be black, which means that has to be white. Which means that has to be black, and that has to be black. Okay. Kind of easy to get somewhat turned around in this area, where you might not actively see the solution. Or not the solution so much as you might not actually see the puzzles. Which, in fairness, I guess they've given me the perfect solution to that potential problem by having them all connected. So you just gotta draw a line there. You gotta do that. And that. And what would be more surprising is if there was an extra section, extra puzzle. Let's see. Okay, this 6 and this 4 can't connect, can it? Because it's got to go this way, and then that's already going to touch. So that's going to be black. That's going to be black. So we've got a 4 here, making that have to be black and that have to be black. I'm assuming it's going down that way. Because that's there. And that. Okay. It's one too many, though. So, what did I do wrong? I think we've got everything where I think it needs to be. guess what you do is you just do that. Yeah, I guess that solves that pretty easily. So we have solved all 7 puzzles of the logic gate. That has unlocked the mirror bliss. Great. So let's go back here and look. That's one trial there done with seemingly no marker telling me about that trial being done. So we have all-seeing monolith still that we want to solve in this area, just to see if that does anything for us. We have all kinds of puzzles. Don't make this pattern. That's a different pattern. Certainly. I think that would be too hard to pull off. Just might be a little bit more difficult because now when you take that next step, I'm assuming that the pattern here is dark, blank, blank, dark. So then this would also have to be dark. This would also have to be dark. This would have to be light. And then this would have to be dark. And then that's light. Then this would have to be light. And then this would have to be light. I don't think that works without me potentially making this light. Nope. So you just have to go through this whole process. Of course, I don't know if this really is the right way to do this. Really, I just need to end the episode. There's just going to be so much of this still going on. So we did that, and then we did that. Still same old problem. Put that down there. Maybe do that? No. Yeah, I was hoping this one would be quick and easy, but it doesn't seem to be quick and easy. there's a trick to that. You do something like that. Can't really be that either. Can't really be that either. Can't really be that either. Oh, it is that. Guess I just wanted to deny it. Still gonna be a lot of sky drops. Although at a certain point you get to an angle, and if there's no other sky drops in the area, it's pretty obvious. Stuck on the ground. So, yeah. I would need 30. I have only 30 of 80 Mirabilises to enter the Dare of the Trirunes. So that doesn't work, does it? This trial is obviously here to be done later. There's only 49 Trirunes in this whole Verdant Glen area. So I could run around and do trials. I could run around and do puzzles. I could run around and look for lost fragments, but I don't know if any of that is helpful. I don't know if I accidentally dropped a marker. Let's see if we can find the green cube. Definitely been in this area before, although there is a small possibility that there's a sky drop puzzle here to be found. These definitely feel like ones that we'd have to look upward, because the angle really is only there. So how could that not be the right solution? I guess not. I guess maybe you are supposed to find some kind of angle that way. I'll deal with that at a different time. There's another Trirune puzzle. It kind of feels like it's a mistake to have the Trirune puzzles locked in the first place. So I was thinking that maybe from this spot you could see the direction that the remaining blocks to the all-seeing monolith go, but we can't. So yeah, we're going a little late here, but we are proving or learning something, proving a point in that, yeah, there is a linear experience here despite how open this world feels at times. There are puzzles all over the place to be found. There's more lore to be found. But it probably, if the game is pushing me towards moving to the next area, it probably is very much the case that the better experience is to leave things alone. Oh boy, do I not want to play one of those. Unless these puzzles are all about just only moving in one direction and never moving in the other direction. Really lucky there. The good news is it seems like there's only one more of those even in this area. I think even they recognized that, even the game developers recognized that that wasn't a great puzzle system. It's not very logical in what you're doing. You're just kind of dragging up and down, left and right to figure out whether or not you're getting closer or further away from a shifting fractal puzzle, which I can't really wrap my brain around. When did I solve this puzzle? I didn't. So here we are on the edge of the next area. The game wants me to awaken lucent waters, which I imagine what's going to happen is that this will be a slightly smaller area. It very possibly will have less enclaves that take you to the edges of the map, and we'll just be perhaps a little bit faster, and then we'll probably just work our way around and then come back to Verdant Glen to do cleanup later. It makes a lot of sense to have the environment change and give you a fresh location to look at. I don't need multiple map maker markers. Grid flood paint would be useful, but not super helpful. We're at level 15, and in the end, this would give me extra rewards. So, what we've been behind the ball as far as getting the extra sparks, in that I unlocked a lot of these after I had already done a whole bunch of amelie rings. So I'm thinking you take this to unlock that. We're halfway to level 15, and then so I'm thinking in this new area we will reach a point where we hit 15 and we'll only need 400 sparks to get extra sparks for doing the phasic dial solves. Of course, in this one you have to solve them quickly, not perfectly, and it might be a mistake when you may not see these kinds of puzzles for a while. As far as the mastery goes, it seems like we are still waiting to see the last 7 remaining types of puzzles, and it feels like we just covered a lot of square footage in this episode instead of actually solving a bunch of puzzles. That being said, there was this entire trial area where we solved several puzzles in a row. There is definitely this feeling that what is going to happen is that the game will sometimes feel like you're wandering around looking for the next puzzle, and we might at the end of this whole experience spend potentially 30-40 minutes wandering around a very large world looking for the final puzzles, and one hopes that the all-seeing monolith solves that problem and gives us just markers. I would expect what I would want to see is just little dots all over this map of where the remaining puzzles are. Although at a certain point also, if I just knew that there were 6 puzzles in this trial and only 1 puzzle in this trial, I could probably do the math and find out what we have already done. Yeah, you can click on other elements here as far as perspective puzzles versus hidden object puzzles versus puzzle boxes. Yeah. If anything, it feels like there's too few of these type of puzzles. And some of this goes up to like level 167. Wow. That's not a round number. So I would wonder. Let's see. Apparently there's a new puzzle in 6 hours and 9 minutes and 14 seconds. Oh. Interesting. So there is this MMO thought to it, that it would just go on forever. I don't know how many people, though, would really live with that. Though, I don't know. After solving 10,000 plus puzzles and feeling like you've gotten 100% on this, to then come back a day later and have several new puzzles, that might sound nice at the beginning of an experience like this. It's probably just going to sound like it's very overwhelming at the end of an experience like this. Personally, I'm not the type of player who would play World of Warcraft for a decade plus, whereas that's exactly the experience that they are trying to have here. Yeah, none of these other enclaves, I've been calling them excursions, I think excursion might be a better term, have anything left to collect on them. So I've been particularly thorough on all of this. Maybe this is a case where you only need to get 37 perspective puzzles to get a Mirabilis, and maybe there's a lot more puzzles in the area. That would make a lot of sense. Remember, there's a lot more to go, certainly. I don't think that these remaining 5 areas are going to just be significantly smaller than what we're seeing. Alright, well, we've already gone really long, so that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and keep on watching. Thanks.